Hello and welcome back. This is now part two of a little bit of a series that we've been working on. And I promised 3 tips that you can take with you to in 2017 to help refresh your marriage. These tips are not going to be radical, they're not going to be earth shaking, but they're habits that you can apply in your relationship starting now that will make a significant difference. We had talked earlier, and you can listen to the previous recording. We talked earlier about the need for turning toward your spouse when they need your attention. That's probably the most important foundational thing that you can do. And this, on top of it, I think will really, really help you. So this is the concept for today. It's called gentle startup, based on the research of Dr. John Gottman. It's basically this idea that how we start a conversation is how it's going to go, which seems kind of self-explanatory. But a lot of times we start off certain ways, critical, negative, and we think starting off critical and negative will somehow get better. The Apostle Paul said in dealing with relationships in general and interaction, he said, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs. Ephesians 4:29. The biblical Christian standard is very high. They talk to one another, spouse included, talk to one another in such a way that we only speak words that are going to meet needs. Even as we express our needs, we're super considerate of who I'm speaking to. If we can be as polite to our spouses as we are to strangers, to guests in our home, you will see a palpable difference in your relationship with your spouse. We tend to treat guests, people we don't know well, much better with our speech than we do with our spouses. So that is the challenge that Paul gave to everybody. Yet, I want to encourage you, it's probably the greatest thing you can do for your marriage in 2017, no matter where you are on the spectrum. And gentle startup specifically is this: express things in a positive need. Figure out, how can my spouse shine for me? When you have something that you want to get on them about, something negative, think, how can my spouse shine for me? Think about, what do you want? What do you really want? You want him or her to pick up those socks. He always leaves his clothes in the middle of the floor. You want him or her to, man, they never initiate lovemaking. Never. I'm always chasing her. I'm like a puppy. You want them to take up more responsibility within the household. You want them to stand up for you when family members are critical or condescending, when you're out, with his or her family. That's what you want. What tends to come out of our mouths are little jabs, harsh startups, things like, your mother is a wart on the back of humanity. Or we'll say things like, you're a slob. Or we'll say things like, you're always late. Behind that criticism, there's a need. Think about what that need is and how can your spouse shine for you. Even in sexual matters, we tend to say things like, don't touch me there, it's bad. Which is true if it's bad for you. Or you could say, man, when you do this, I really enjoy it. I would like you to do more of that. What is the positive need? So whether the topic is sex, the touchy one, or it's something as simple as household, or it's in-laws, or it's finances, start off gently. Think about the first minute of that conversation. Start off with things like, can I speak to you for a minute? Something along those lines will let your spouse know that you have something you need to say. I would include something positive first. Man, I really appreciate what you've done, and try and put in that as a starter, your feelings, your needs, but do it whatever it takes to be gentle. Saying I love you before you say it. Reminding yourself and your spouse of things that they've done. Even saying something like, man, I hope this doesn't bother you. I hope this doesn't hurt you. I hope this doesn't come across critical. And then you give it out what you got to say gently. But again, from the positive. So instead of saying, you're always late, you say, In the future, what I'd like you to do is, could you call when you realize we're not going to be able to catch the movie on time? I'd really appreciate it if you call next time. I felt really frustrated. Gentle, gentle, gentle. That's a skill and it can be a challenge. But I guarantee you, if you can start off gently, even in some of the more sensitive things, your likelihood of being heard increases exponentially. You start off critical. Not only are you going against the heart of what it takes for a healthy relationship and really the heart of God Himself, but you will see more. As for me, I tend to start off negative, and I've learned that it's something that I have to be very conscious as I speak with my wife, and even as I speak to anybody. So this is Antoine Lee. Thanks again for your time. So again, for today, it was start off gently, gentle startup. Look forward to seeing you, to speaking to you again for number 2. And thanks.